People on the move are always vulnerable, but for children traveling alone, the risks, dangers, and fears are magnified. Welcoming the child migrant is an important expression of the gospel, and the Department of Children's Services within MRS advocates for and offers programs to ensure the safety, permanency, and well-being of unaccompanied refugee children and children caught up in mixed migration flows.
I work with unaccompanied alien children. Children who have come into the United States without a legal guardian, fleeing from terrible conditions in their country, or just to simply be reunited with parents that have been living in the United States.
We've seen an enormous increase in the number of unaccompanied minor children who are coming into the United States, mainly from Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala.
By contracting with Catholic charities and other agencies, MRS works to reunite unaccompanied children with their families whenever possible and provides integration and family preservation services to include immigration legal services.
Most of the children that I work with have experienced significant amounts of trauma, and they are in desperate need of mental health services.
Vladimir was one such child from El Salvador who came to the United States with special needs. Born deaf and unable to speak, Vladimir received no formal education as a child. He lived in virtual isolation, unable to communicate. After his father immigrated to the U.S. to find work, Catholic Charities of New York helped Vladimir to rejoin his father.
When I first met him, he was sitting at the window just looking outside, and I could see that he was just feeling so overwhelmed about being in this foreign country and not knowing how things work. The first thing that we did was get him health insurance so that he could have his first hearing exam. They were able to use that information to get him into the Lexington School for the Deaf. He's learning to read, he's learning to write. We were able to help him access a hearing aid. So for the first time in his life, Vladimir is actually hearing sounds.
When he was in El Salvador, he thought he was the only person who couldn't hear or speak. Now at his school, there are many kids like him, and they talk. They talk with sign language. He has many friends, and he feels very happy.
He's finally been able to voice a dream because he's finally gotten the idea that deaf people can have a career. And what he said that he wants to do is be a mechanic, and he wants to work with cars.
I could never have achieved what we have accomplished in so little time on my own. It's only been 6 months since we started, and I already see that he can hear. He knows how to read a little, and now he's experiencing what it's like to live here.
Other children coming to the United States without parents or family arrived directly from refugee camps. One such child was Manyang, a refugee from Sudan.
I am one of the lost boy of Sudan. They are called lost boy because they don't know where their parent is and they don't know where they belong to.
During the Sudanese Civil War, Manyang was separated from his parents and baby sister when he was still a toddler.
I was 4 years old when I was taken into refugees camp, and I lived in refugees camp for 13 years.
Most refugees living in camps wait years before their cases are ever heard. And in many instances, people live and die in camps, waiting for relief that never arrives.
Maybe in the next 2 years, your country will be better. Maybe in the next 3 years, your country will be better. Maybe in the next 5 years, and it keeps going up to 30 years. Some people die there, and they never go back.
But against all odds, Manyang was one of a tiny number selected to leave his camp.
In 2005, when I was given resettlement to come to the United States, like Catholic charities.
Once in the U.S., Manyang was placed in a group home and completed high school. He now is in college and has even started a foundation to lift others still in Sudan out of poverty.
Now I'm studying at the University of Richmond. I want to be a humanitarian lawyer, just to help people.
Manyang learned that his father was indeed killed in the war, but that his mother and sister are still alive in Sudan. They were recently reunited there.
Saving lives, giving hope. That's what we do.